Hello everyone. So in this particular video series, we will be getting hands-on of Konflux CI/CD tool. So we will be installing it on OpenShift 4 and it can be installed on normal Kubernetes or kind cluster as well. So I have covered the architecture, the explanation part in this particular reference guide and even in this blog post. So I will be providing all the links related to this blog post, reference guide, and even the GitHub repo that contains the YAMLs and shell scripts in the video description for sure. So like overall, Konflux CI/CD tool is for providing the functionality for your container images to be built with certain features out of the box, like supply chain security, your enterprise contract, the integration test you want. So there are definitely so many features, the customizations and like multiple things are there that comes with Konflux. So Konflux is basically based on the Tekton only. So under the hood, Tekton is working. So if you want to know more about Tekton, so I have covered it in a separate video series and the blog post. So I will be sharing all the links in the video description. So for any architecture part and understanding what is Konflux, what components are there, this reference guide can be referred to for sure because it contains everything in a very detailed manner with all the diagrams and everything. So this video series will be focusing on the hands-on part majorly. So from this reference guide, I will directly jump on to the 12th part, uh, the installation of Konflux. So basically, I will be following this reference guide, but if you want, the GitHub repo can be also referred, which contains the shell scripts and YAML files, which prompt you for all the details for deploying and configuring the applications with Konflux. So yeah, so I will start with the reference guide instead. So for this, I'm already having an OpenShift 4 cluster deployed with the CRC binary. So even if you want to know how you can install a OpenShift 4 cluster with CRC on your local machine, you can refer to the blog post and YouTube video link present in the description. So yeah, uh, so I'm already having this particular OpenShift 4 cluster and it's already up and ready. So certain prerequisite checks needs to be done first of all before installing the Konflux. So OC binary version is there or not, Git, the Go binary, and few other things depending on the test we will be performing throughout this series. So I will just copy paste these commands and run it. So as you can see, all the commands worked without any error at all. So prerequisites are there, and we need to also verify whether we are having the admin privileges or not. So yeah, the admin privilege is there and the storage class. So the OpenShift 4 cluster is having storage class as well for the PVPVC. So before installing the Konflux, so it will be pulling some of the images from the Red Hat official QA.io image registry. And for that, we must be having access to that QA.io registry. And for that, you need to create an account. So I'm already having an account for it. So let me go to QA.io and I will create a normal account, like basically robot accounts we can say for the access and all instead of my main account. So I will create this account and let's give it a name, maybe Konflux. And the optional description should be the same. Create a robot account. Okay, so this account is created. And now what I will do, I will fetch the credentials for it. So these are my username and credentials. So now what we need to do, we need to do podman login first of all, because when we install Konflux, it will be pulling the images and it will look for the credentials locally. So I can go to this podman login tab and I can copy this command from here and I can run it. Okay, so the login succeeded and these credentials are now saved in my home directory config containers o.json. All right. So now moving to the next part, we will be cloning the official Konflux repository and then cd inspire it. Okay, and so these are the files present in this particular repository. So we will be running this shell script like deploying Konflux on OCP. So even you can install it on the kind cluster, but we are covering it on OpenShift today. So if I show you this particular shell script, so it contains lots of things. So basically it's checking for the environment variables as well. So according to the environment variables, the Konflux will be getting configured and certain dependencies and lots of things are there. So back to the reference guide. Let's say if you are already having your GitHub repository configured with the correct container file or Docker file, and you are already having your webhook secret, the private key, then you can pass those as an environment variable, and even it is completely fine if you are not having it right now. These steps can be done as a D2 operation as well. So the only major thing is the SME channel. So for example, let's say if your OpenShift 4 cluster is not reachable over the internet, like your routes and all can be accessed over the internet, then how the GitHub repositories and all will be reflecting to the changes. Let's say if any uh, merge request is there, then how that particular event uh, will be triggering your CI/CD pipelines, because the Konflux route that gets created in OCP4 cluster after installing Konflux needs to be configured as a webhook in your GitHub account. So for that, we can make use of SME channel. So basically, any events coming from your GitHub uh, will be routed via this SME channel to your cluster. So for now, what we can do, we can open this particular URL, sme.io, since this is the locally deployed OpenShift 4 cluster on my machine, not accessible over the internet. So once you come to this particular URL, you can click on start a new channel. And yeah, so this is the URL that we need to keep track of. We will export it as an environment variable before installing Konflux, and we will use it afterwards in the GitHub configuration part. Okay, so now let's export it as the environment variable and the URL. Okay, so the SME channel environment variable is exported now. And after this, we can just start installing the Konflux in our cluster with this particular command. So this is the shell script in the current working directory. So all right, the installation started and it will take several minutes depending on your network bandwidth, the cluster resources. So yeah, it's deploying the dependencies, verifying if PVPVCs can be created or not properly. So in the installation part, it will deploy multiple operators, create namespaces and all. So yeah, OpenShift pipelines, which is providing the Tektons under the hood. So manager and the RBAC parts, Prometheus. So all those things will be there. Yeah, the installation is currently going on. So once the installation completes, you will see lots of namespaces will be there, and like build service, integration service. So all these components, all these namespaces are already explained in this particular reference guide. So those can be referred to for basic understanding and knowledge. So yeah, for now we will wait for the installation to complete. All right, so the installation has been completed now, and it is completely fine if you see this particular message at the end, like deploying secrets and all, because if we don't pass the environment variables related to the GitHub app ID, private key and all, then it will not create this secret, and we will be covering this in the upcoming videos like as a day 2 operation. So once the installation complete, we can come to the verification part. So we can verify if Konflux is ready or not now. If I run this command. So still the Konflux is coming up and it will take a few more minutes to become ready. Then afterwards, we can describe the Konflux and get the pod status from that particular project and verify the namespaces which are created or not. So all those things. So yeah, let's wait for the Konflux to become ready. All right, so the Konflux is ready now, and we can just describe it to check a very few things like all components are ready, deployments ready. So yeah, all those things are there. And just check the pods in Konflux operator namespace. So it's also up, the controller manager. And these are the namespaces that gets created. So we can just run this command to verify if these namespaces are there or not. So yeah, if you see the OpenShift pipeline namespace is there, sort manager, Konflux operator, build service, integration service, release service, and all those. Okay, and after this we can run this command as well to verify which namespaces are created conditionally. So if you see, for us, this particular namespace was created, SME client, since we passed the environment variable and we wanted the Konflux to use the SME client. And you can verify the CRDs that get created after installing the Konflux. So yeah, these are the CRDs that gets created. So we will be utilizing these CRDs in the upcoming videos for the application onboarding. And then definitely the Konflux dashboard. So you can get the route of Konflux. So if I open this, or even instead of the route directly, you can just run get Konflux and you will get the URL from here. And you can log into it with the same OpenShift cluster credentials. Allow selected permissions. And yeah, this is how the dashboard looks like for the Konflux. So yeah, that was it for this particular installation part. And even if you face any issue during the installation and all, you can refer to the particular guide for the installation steps as well. And yeah, let's continue in the next video.